Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the Cherry Heart podcast. I'm Sandra and this is a crafty podcast featuring crochet, knitting and sewing mainly. You'll be able to find the show notes for the things I talk about on the podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk. You just need to click the podcast tab. And you can find me on Instagram as Sandra Cherry HRT and elsewhere on the web as Cherry Heart. On this podcast I'll be sharing the things I've made as usual, and I'll put a little bit of vloggy footage if I've got any. I'll pop that after the podcast at the end, so it's a bit of a pod and vlog type thing. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just a little bit of Podmin, little podcast admin, which is just to tell you that YouTube now do chapters. They've introduced chapters on videos. So what that means is if I put timestamps down below at certain points of my video, you can jump to like the beginning of each chapter. So I tried it out on my last podcast a couple of weeks ago and it seemed to work. So if you're watching on YouTube itself, if you click the little down bar, and you'll see the times and the chapters listed out, and you can just click on those and click to whichever bit you're interested in. So I'll try and sort of list each project or something. You can just click to jump to that project, can't you? Yes, I'll try and do that. I'll do it by project. What else was I going to say? Oh yes, show notes. I also link those down in my in the little down bar in the YouTube box as well. So if you're watching, I know like if you're watching on your TV or something, you don't always have access to that extra information, but if you are on YouTube, you can. I'm just looking down at my brief notes here. That's it. That's all I've got to say. So let's move on to what I have done. And actually I haven't done much. I don't know about you guys, I haven't asked how you are yet, have I? How are you? Things are fine here, but I feel like my crafting motivation has a bit gone out of the window. I've been doing things, little bits of things, but quite often I just sort of sit down and I just don't really have a massive urge to sort of get on with anything. So yeah, it's been slow progress around here. I don't know if it's just this sort of bizarre time of like we're not in lockdown, but at the same time things aren't normal yet, which I guess is how it's going to be for quite some time now. It's not really going to be normal, but you know, we're sort of free to go out and about more or less now, mostly. Yeah, I don't know, it's bizarre. I think maybe I'm not struggling because I'm fine, but maybe it's just affecting my mood a bit, or maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know. Anyway, this has quickly turned into a load of old gumph and waffle that no one's interested in, so let's move on. What I've done. So what I've actually done is my socks. So you've seen these before. They had been started, but I finished. So these are my Pearly Dot Socks. This is a new pattern actually, or it will be by the time this is out. By the time this airs, as they say, I will have got the pattern up for you. So it's my Pearly Dot Socks. I'll just show you close. It's got this cute little eyelet pattern on it. And this picot cuff. And it's top down. Cute little heel. It's a square heel. And then I just did a normal wedge toe for those. And you can see I've got my elderflower stitches yarn in a gradient set, so in 5 colours. There's the pale, there's the next one, and then you can see the colour changes are a little clearer on these next ones. Oh, sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, so I love how those turned out. The colourway, on point, I think. And is it on point or is it ballet shoes? On point. I'll pop it in a thing down here. I have said on other podcasts what it is, so I'm sure you know by now, but yeah. Oops. I'm yet again using my other camera, so yeah, I'm just hoping the focusing didn't work out. If you weren't here for the camera saga, the podcast before last, I tried it in the current setup and it was fine, but I had trouble getting the camera to focus on certain things. Then I tried a slightly different setup and then it focused on this for quite a bit and not me at all, which was annoying. So now I've gone back to the original focus mostly on the face, but then, you know, it does a lot of darting. There's a little square and it tells me where it's focused on. It darts around all the time, so it's a bit, what's it doing? Anyway, so I've gone back to this original setup and hopefully that will be a bit better. Hopefully I'm getting used to the camera a little bit now, but I think the picture is a bit better overall, and the sound, you've come back to me and sort of said the sound is definitely better, which is good because I tend to be quiet, so this microphone picks up the sound better, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so those are my socks. Yes, so new pattern is out, and it'll be on Ravelry and it'll be on Love Crafts. And I'll pop both the links in the show notes. I'll perhaps do a little blog post about this as well, although there's not a lot to say really, other than what I've said here previously. Yes, and it'll be a paid for pattern, by the way. Yeah, that's it on that. I'm making sure that I put all my patterns on, well, I have been for a while, but I'm just making sure everything's up to date on putting patterns on Ravelry and on Love Crafts, because I don't know if you use Ravelry, but they've changed their website design, and I know some people are having trouble with it, struggling to use the new design. So you can go on and switch back and use it in the old style, the sort of classic Ravelry as they're calling it. But I know some people have been having issues with being able to sign in or switch over to the older style. So I wanted to just give you an alternative. And I'm trying to work out, I put a blog post up about this the other day. This should come under Podmin, shouldn't it really? Yes, my free patterns, most of those you can, on my website I've just got a button and you can click and it'll be an instant download, but where there's two files, so if it's a UK and in US terms, crochet pattern for example, it does send you to a Ravelry page, so you can just select which of the files you want to download. And I haven't found a way round that, and I haven't found a brilliant site that will do it better yet. You can, there's free sites where you can what am I trying to say? I don't know. There are sort of options, but I haven't found one that's sort of great yet. You either have to log on to the site to use it, or they're just sort of very sort of sites filled with adverts and things, which neither of those are great, but yeah, I don't know how much of a problem it is for people really. I'm hoping that just most people will be able to click over to the old version, or will be able to manage to just make a download selection. But if anyone can't for any reason, just, you know, contact me and I can sort it out. Send you a copy by email or something, or if I have got them up somewhere else I can let you know. But yeah. Let's go back to the issue. That wasn't really the issue. So the only other thing I've done, which I showed you in the last podcast, is my pink crocheted cardigan. That hasn't really got a name. It's just called Pink Slouchy Cardi at the moment. Which is this. And I brought it up. I'm not very succinct today, am I? But what's new? I brought it up to show you because I've made some amendments. I don't know if you were here last time and I was speaking about it. I was just saying that it got quite long. It was longer than I wanted, and that this sort of neckband was like really sort of curling round like this, horribly. So yeah, I wasn't happy. So I performed a bit of crochet surgery, and I've whipped quite a bit off of the bottom. Like, I don't know, about maybe it was down to there before, I would say. So yeah, I managed to sort of work a chain in and sort of unravel the bit below. That was interesting, but it worked all right. That worked pretty well. And then yeah, I've done sort of a bottom. I've redone the bottom band. I've done the edging, and I've put pockets on now as well. So let's cover that up. So hopefully it will just show this. Yeah, I'll pop it on quickly so you can just see the difference. I know quite a few people that commented did say that they liked the other length, which I agree with. I did like the other length as well, but it just wasn't quite what I imagined. So it's still quite long. It still covers, you know, just comes down over my bum. And I did the sleeves deliberately quite long because I like a long sleeve. And yeah, and the front sort of sits just nice and smoothly now. And I got me little pockets, which I wanted originally. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it now. Like I say, I haven't bothered with buttons or anything still. Wasn't really planning to. And it is just, could have been a smidge white, you know, bigger round. So come and sit back down now. Yeah, I could have given myself a little bit more ease, sort of width-wise, across the... I mean, it does stretch round though. You know, it does go, like, fold over, but I don't know, maybe it's okay. Just feel like if I had buttons, it would kind of be pulling at the buttons a bit anyway, so... Perhaps just as well I didn't envisage having on. So I think if I would make it again, I would give myself a bit more width anyway. In conclusion, to wrap that up, yes, but I've left my sleeve markers in so I could make a note of what I did with the sleeves. I'll pick hairs off of it. Yes, just so I could make a note of that, and then possibly, maybe one day, if I ever feel brave enough to attempt a garment pattern, I will try and write it up as a garment pattern, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how confident I am at being able to resize it effectively, so yeah, I don't know. But moving on, I brought my granny striped blanket up just to show you progress. So I haven't shown you for a couple of podcasts now. Let's do a close-up just so you can see. Hopefully that's showing you. Yeah, so it's just a granny stripe, crochet granny stripe in 4-ply yarn. I've got a whole load of different yarns in here, about 10 or 11 different sort of colours I picked out. I just picked a whole load out from Stash and took them down to my living room, which is where this blanket is going to live. And yeah, just sort of arranged a pile in the living room, sort of based on what looked quite nice in there, really. And this was the result. So let's see if I can give you an idea. This is the width. It's quite wide, and I'm not quite sure. Can you quite see the length of that? It's getting quite big now. Yeah, so this is quite a nice project to just do a few rows on here and there. You know, and then now I've... Oh my word, I feel like I can't get my words out correctly. And now I've got quite a few colours in, you know, I don't really have to think about the colour choices now. It's just a case of, you know, pretty much anything goes. I do it quite random. I try and space out like these sort of slightly darker colours and the greys I kind of Just try and space them out so they don't clump together too much. But other than that, I can just pick out colours and shove them on and it's fine. So that's progressing along, sort of in the background really. And then the only other project I have on the go at the moment, which kind of makes me feel like I need to get something else on the go, is my Battenberg, no, don't focus on me, focus on this. Yeah, my Battenberg squares. So a while ago I made a big Battenberg blanket. So it had alternate coloured, here let me just show you the bit I've got made up and then everything will make sense. Here we go, this is like an example. Yeah, so it was a blanket made in this style, so I had cream squares and then I had lots of different other squares and I made a huge blanket out of it, blah blah blah. You might remember if you were here at the time. So now I'm doing the same thing, the same sort of pattern of the sort of checkerboard, Battenberg checkerboard, but I'm doing it in cotton. So this is Stylecraft's Naturals yarn, and it's a bamboo cotton mix. And it's lovely, with lots of lovely gorgeous colours. This one's a favourite. I can get that to show up. That's called Pumice. I love that one. Oh, we haven't got much of this one left at the minute. This one's Seafoam. This one perhaps is my absolute favourite. Sort of minty. It's not really duck egg, I suppose. It's more minty, but I love it. Anyway, so it's going to be cushion covers for my dining room chairs. So I've got like little seat pads with ties on. So that's about the size I need for one cushion. And then the back, I think I will, well, I could either do the back. Someone in the comments last time came up with a brilliant idea, which was just do them the same front and back, and then I can swap them over on the chairs so that they get worn evenly, which I really love that idea. That's a brilliant idea. So I'm definitely doing that, but I'm not sure whether to do Battenberg both sides or I might do Battenberg one side and then just a granny square the other side. Probably alternating sort of cream and then a colour, cream and a colour, cream and a colour sort of thing as well. But yes, this again is a nice mindless project, and now I've made up my one so I know like how many squares I need for each blanket. I'm now just sort of manufacturing a load in the different colours, so I need 6 of each colour square for them to be even, and then I think I need something like 4 more colourful squares for each cushion, so I'll arrange them in a way that looks okay and then just see which colours would be best to finish off the last sort of slots. So these ones I haven't got enough of yet, but that's a lovely blue as well, look at that. Oh, I like that blue. Yes, but that's a nice and easy thing to just sit and whip a few of those out of an evening. And that's all I've got on the go really. So yeah, I think the thing I most sort of feel drawn to do at the moment is actually some knitting, and I haven't got a knitting project on the go, so I may have to start one, I think. But yeah, as I say, not feeling massively compelled. I think I'm a bit sort of stuck on this one because it's nice to add a row or two to, but it's at that stage where it's quite big and you add a few rows and you don't actually feel like you're making any difference at all. And the colours, you know, it's not like when you got lots of different colours and you add a new colour and you go, oh, how's that going to look? And that can be interesting. This sort of is all sort of merging into sort of a kind of mottled, bluey, greeny, you know, it's not the colours uniform, but you know, adding another colour doesn't sort of massively change the look of it, so it's not very exciting in that way. It's really nice and I want the finished thing, but it's not really, doesn't really excite me to work on it. That's the only problem with it. But I do like the effect I'm getting. I like it. It reminds me of sort of impressionist paintings or watercolour paintings. It's a sort of watercolour striped blanket, that's what I was thinking of it as. Yes, but I think that's pretty much it from me, so quite a short one today, I think. And I'll put any vloggy footage I've got, that will come up in a moment, and that's probably about it from me, really. I hope you're doing okay. And oops, I just knocked the table, sorry about that. Yes, I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're hanging in there, and you know, things are sort of easing up for you wherever you are with the restrictions and things. Certainly things are sort of getting a little bit better now, and we've been able to visit some family again, which has been really nice, so that's good. But yeah, keep crafting everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!